Hello everybody, this is BladeCross EXE.
And Ryochi42, what's up guys?
In celebration of the MegaMan Battle Network Legacy Collection's overwhelming success, as well as our channel recently hitting 5,000 subscribers, we thought it only fitting that we go over one of the most important aspects of these games, the boss battles.
That's right, and today we're going to bring you our own personal top 5 favorite bosses from the Battle Network series.
Mainline games only, so that means no network transmission, Battleship Challenge, EXE 4.5, WonderSwan, or mobile games.
In short, if they aren't in the current iteration of the Battle Network Legacy Collection, they are ineligible.
So, with that out of the way, let's begin.
Battle routine, set, execute.
Oddly enough, I'm putting my pet pick, no pun intended, lowest on my list. Battle Network 3's KingMan fits a specific niche that I feel is kind of underutilized. KingMan is the closest thing that we get to a true pet character. This means like his primary methods of attacks aren't really based on his own movements and attacks, but how he incorporates his pieces into the battle. I mean, the battle entirely revolves around how you interact with his pawns and knights. If you either destroy his pieces or repeat the same evasion pattern too much, he'll actually literally use a move, change tactics, in an attempt to corner you like a true chess player. The culmination of this match is his finisher, Checkmate, which is a blitz that he puts his pieces around you so you can't move, and then he body slams down on you for a kill. While it's not an instant kill, he'll only use it if your HP is low enough for it to be the final blow. That being said, he makes my list because the chess motif and the pet character fighting style really resonate with me, and honestly I think it's a real shame he didn't come back for Battle Network 4.
If I'm completely honest, in my personal opinion, if there's one place where the MegaMan Battle Network series doesn't particularly excel, I would say that it's with the final bosses. That said, most of the final bosses are at least fun to fight, have unique music, and are visually interesting. But the biggest complaint I have about most of the final bosses is the intent. The Light Virus, Gospel, and Alpha are all being used to completely destroy the cyberworld or corrupt it. Nebula Grey is just trying to overrun the cyberworld with darkness, and the Side Beasts are trying to destroy not just the cyberworld, but the human world as well. Regardless, they're all simple-minded beasts who are either attacking completely on instinct or under the command of the primary antagonist. And then there's Duo. Duo is the exception in this lot. Yes, he's trying to destroy the world, but the presentation here is what makes him one of my all-time favorites. Instead of some ancient sealed-away evil or an overpowered virus, Duo is the operating system of an anti-planetary missile, guiding his meteor on a collision course for Earth because of all the evil in the world. So the battle arena is inside the computer of his asteroid, and before you get to him, you must defeat MegaMan's Dark Soul. He's the only final boss we actually get to have a conversation with, and he's also the only one who actually survives his battle with MegaMan, unless you count the Chaos Lord's Nebula Grey form. Well, okay, the Side Beast technically survived, but then was deleted immediately afterward. Close enough. More than that, Duo himself became instantly iconic. Some of his attacks would show up in Battle Network 5 and 6 as battle chips, and they weren't event exclusives. Sure, technically Gospel and Alpha also got some battle chips in a similar way, but Duo gets 3 of them. The battle itself has a varying difficulty depending on how many times you've beaten the game, as each progressive play ups the challenge to a certain point. Duo attacks with a wide range of weapons, from his giant fists to a powerful laser cannon that pierces guard and invisible, as well as rockets and mines, and even shooting off an afterimage of his own face. Duo Omega is not only the coolest Omega alternate colored enemy, but he's also extremely difficult. But if you've made it this far, then you have nothing to fear. With the coolest design, best backstory, and most engaging atmosphere, Duo is, in my opinion, the best final boss in the main series Battle Network games.
Battle routine, set, execute.
Conversely, I don't think we can really say that intent is a necessary qualification to be considered a threat. As the old adage goes, what's normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. And that's kind of Nebula Grey's entire theme, chaos and darkness. Nebula Grey is first introduced during the later chapters of Battle Network 5, where Dr. Regal is planting a fragment of it inside microservers all around the overworld. And its influence causes everybody to act erratic, becoming overwhelmed with negative emotions. And throughout the story, what makes him stick out as an antagonistic force, to me at least, is less outright destruction and more so the loss of self. You're not being destroyed, but is what's left really you? As for the boss fight itself, the main threatening attacks rarely even actually come from Nebula Grey itself. The battle is more so the environment attacking you, with constant solar flare-like attacks levied at your side of the field, as well as dark chips being used against you by a shadow of MegaMan. And when he actually chooses to attack you directly, it almost comes across as a passive reaction than actually trying to destroy you. His fire breathing and dragon form attack honestly seem like he's just trying to swat away an annoying bug. The only attack that actually seems like he's trying to fight are the grabby hands that drain your HP to recover his own. And if you survive that, victory's kind of assured. The real challenge of this fight comes from not having solid ground to stand on, as several attacks come from below or even just destroyer panels, and his only weak point is constantly moving, sometimes completely off screen. Aside from that, as a general rule, I have a love for anything reminiscent of cosmic horror, and Nebula Gray's lower half being concealed by a dark portal that he's yet to make it all the way out of, and what we find is only what has escaped from the Dark Galaxy universe. And he's using your own dark soul against you just by his presence. Again, a lot of the fight is the environment just being dangerous from him being there. All of this together culminates in not only a very present threat in the story, but also a very fulfilling boss fight in my opinion. By the way, did I mention that his dark flames have screaming faces in them?
Ah yes, GutsMan, one of the original robot masters from the very first MegaMan game. GutsMan.exe is operated by Dex, Lan's friend, and is something of a friendly rival to MegaMan, even though he is pathetically weak. In the first 3 Battle Network games, GutsMan is great for grinding if you need spare Zenny, battle chips for the trader, or bug frags. That is, until about halfway through Battle Network 3. You see, as part of the story, Dex leaves AC/DC Town and moves away to be with his dad. Later on, MegaMan is going around fighting powerful Navis to become ranked in the Undernet, for plot reasons, until he finds himself cornered by 3 evil Navis at once, and they try to drop a boulder on him, only for GutsMan to come out of nowhere, save MegaMan, and delete all 3 of the enemy Navis at once. GutsMan then logs out, but another Undernet ranked Navi, named CopyMan, takes GutsMan's form and challenges MegaMan to a duel. After defeating CopyMan, he escapes, and MegaMan gets his rank. While the first fight with this new and improved GutsMan isn't actually GutsMan, the real thing still has the same abilities during the later matches. In addition to the standard Shockwave, Guts Punches, and Panel Cracks, he now has the program advanced Zeta Punch, where he turns completely invincible for 5 seconds and fires rocket Guts Punches down each row. Not gonna lie, I actually lost to CopyMan my first time fighting him because I wasn't prepared for this. Compared to how easy he is in the first 2 games and the first half of the third, this is a huge improvement. Still easy enough to fight repeatedly for grinding, but also challenging enough to keep you on your toes. Overall, it's really fun, and it was great for GutsMan's character to show that he's not totally useless, and that he has great potential. Too bad for what happened to him in Battle Network 4, but that's a discussion for later.
Battle routine, set, execute.
Look, there's a reason that a large portion of the fandom considers Team Colonel to be the canon game. This is the boss fight that we should have gotten in Battle Network 5. This fight's superior to BN5 in pretty much every way. Everything from Colonel's sword slashes shaking the screen to his rocket launcher that replaced the slow-firing tank cannon, and just look at the stance! Your former commander has made it clear that he intends to end you. Numerous times, as a matter of fact. This fight had a ton of build-up from the story of Battle Network 6, even as far back as the 3rd main scenario. Let's not forget his finishing move, the Spire Break. Like KingMan's Checkmate, it's not an instant kill, but he'll only use it if your HP is low enough to be deleted by it. So, you know, the disrespect. It can catch you off guard if you're not ready, since it breaks sequence with his normal attack pattern, and there's just not a lot you can do but be ready for it. There's not really too much else to say here, it's just overall a super satisfying fight.
If I had to pick a favorite Battle Network exclusive character, hands down it's LaserMan, the Navi of Dr. Regal, the primary antagonist of Battle Network 4 and 5. I love everything about this boss. His design is imposing, the way he teleports in with that staticky dark portal, his ability to draw out your dark soul, his Omega colors are just as cool as the normal color scheme, and of course, all the lasers. LaserMan is first battled inside the game's final story relevant area, right before the final boss. He has a wide array of attacks to keep you on your toes, as well as a healing technique. His primary attack is a cross-shaped laser that cracks the panel it hits. Next, he'll fire a large red beam skyward, making it rain rocks. And then, when his HP gets low, he'll use Dark Laser, which creates a dark hole that will constantly restore his HP as long as it's open. His strongest attack is a large blue laser from his hand that stops time, pierces invisible, and uninstalls your Navi customizer. That's pretty harsh. Lastly, during the fight with LaserMan Omega, you have the chance to get one of the game's 5 evil chips, Bug Charge or Bug Curse. In conclusion, this is a great challenge from a villainous Navi, an opportunity to get a free Giga Chip, and a great lead into the final boss. Too bad LaserMan didn't return for Battle Network 5. I would much rather have had to fight him than Cloudman or the Dark Team Leaders. I mean, we already had Dark MegaMan in the game. Did we really need to do that trope twice?
Battle routine, set, execute.
But this is truly a classic trope. A hero facing his inner demons? While we see this concept visited during the fight with Nebula, this time it's different. MegaMan and Lan made the choice to contain the Psy Beast since they couldn't destroy it, and these are the consequences of that choice. MegaMan's now possessed by an unstoppable monster which is eating away at him body and soul from the inside out. And whenever it goes on a rampage, Lan's usual Deus Ex Machina of calling out Hub's name doesn't work. We see Lan at his lowest point during this part of the story, being in a new town with new friends. The battle was an inevitability ever since MegaMan absorbed the beast, and the payoff is there. We take control of a friendly Navi for the duel, and we fight him to bring MegaMan back to his senses, and then immediately get to Battle Colonel. The rematch with Beast MegaMan SP also takes place right before the battle with Base BX, so this boss is a great preamble to other fights on top of being a fun battle on its own. On to the fight itself, the word here is quick. Most of Beast MegaMan's attacks come fast and they hit hard. If you don't dodge the paralyzing claw slash, you're gonna get punished. His desperation move is the Psy Beast signature breath attack, G Beast getting the Gregar Flames and F Beast with Balzar's Tornado. If you're prepared, the fight isn't super hard, but this one earns its spot mostly for the impact on the story rather than for its difficulty.
Of course, ProtoMan had to be on the list somewhere. Though the later games provide a greater challenge, I think his best battle is his first one. This fight has been building up for the majority of the first half of the game, and when it happens, it does not disappoint. After you defeat Electman and save Scilab, ProtoMan teleports in, just a second too late. Having grown tired of getting one-upped by you, ProtoMan's operator, Shad, decides to delete you without even giving you a chance to save the game. The battle begins, and look at that pose. That is a Navi who's ready to cut you down. ProtoMan attacks with Fighter Sword, which slashes down a complete row, and when he charges up, he dashes up to you and slashes with Wide Sword for a lot of damage. Only 2 attacks? Why is he on the list then? Well, because of this. No matter how quick on the draw you may be, ProtoMan will block it with his shield, and you have to counterattack him when he swings his sword. In the later games, you can get off 1 or 2 shots before he raises his shield. Even though it may be frustrating, it adds a challenge and gives you the feeling that you're finally facing a worthy opponent. You have to match ProtoMan blow for blow if you want to defeat him. So while it's a little slower paced than later games, this one gets big points for the atmosphere and the wow factor that ProtoMan delivers in his debut net battle.
Last operation, set, execute.
Alright, you know who it is. Don't pretend you don't, you saw it coming. You can't have a top 10 MegaMan boss list and not include Base. If he's in the game, he's gonna be in it. Now, my pick is based specifically from Battle Network 3, right before the final boss. Are there better base fights? Yeah, probably, but this is the one that I played as a kid, and honestly, it was the wake-up boss for the franchise to me. It's where I had to put forth significant effort for the first time. Even ignoring the completely rigged battle we had with him earlier, this battle actually proved to be a challenge to me, even though most of the rest of the game was fairly simple up to that point. The life aura was a constant hindrance, and my strategy back then was honestly just to wait for the opportune moment and counterattack his Earthbreaker because he has to drop his shield before it. It's a fun memory now and was a challenging battle back from my middle school self. The sudden spike in difficulty combined with the intense story build-up made this feel like the main event that previous games were building to. And honestly, the battle against Alpha felt like a victory lap formality.
I agree. The number 1 entry has to be Base, but my pick is for a different fight. Base.exe is in literally every game and every version, even the spin-offs. It was a hard decision, but my favorite version has to go to Base XX from Battle Network 5. Though this version of Base is in the Legacy Collection, I still prefer the way he's fought in the DS version of Battle Network 5, mostly because I just really like to use Soul Cross MegaMan. Activate Base Cross or Soul Cross, then go to where you normally fight Base Omega, and instead, you'll fight Base XX. He has a whopping 4000 HP and a regenerating Black Barrier. My favorite thing about this fight is the aesthetic and the atmosphere. Base now having a purple color scheme not only reflects the whole Dark Soul style of enemies in the game, but also Super Base from the classic MegaMan series. The ultimate battle within the deepest part of the net, in the heart of darkness itself, with MegaMan's greatest nemesis. Okay, I will concede that Black Earth is creepier than Nebula area, but on the whole, I thought the fight in Battle Network 5 was better than the one in 4. Base's attack speed seems similar to his Omega form, but they hit a lot harder. Fortunately, now you don't have to play the DS version to fight Base XX. This battle is available on the Wii U Virtual Console, as well as the Battle Network Legacy Collection with the built-in Base Cross e-reader mod cards, so you can experience this battle for yourself. This isn't the hardest Base battle, I think that one goes to Base BX from Battle Network 6, but to me, this one is the most satisfying. Even if it's not part of the main story, as a secret boss, it really feels like a rematch between rivals that has been a long time coming, after both combatants have powered themselves up to have new forms. And this is one fight I have no qualms with playing again, and again, and again.
And that brings our countdown to a close. I think we had a good balance of technical analysis to go along with the copious amounts of nostalgia we brought today.
This series is full of great boss battles and countless fond memories that will last a lifetime. Be sure to let us know your favorite Battle Network boss fights in the comments below.
And thanks again, everyone, for helping us hit 5,000. It honestly blows my mind that we've made it this far, and I can't wait to see how far we'll go.
Sincerely, thank you, each and every one of you who's watching this video right now. The last year has been really big for us and on the channel with all the developments that have happened in the MegaMan community and with the community here on the channel with the Big Iceberg project, and making MegaMan themed content has been some of the most fun we've had doing this YouTube channel for however long we've been here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this has been some of the most fun, most fulfilling content that we've made, and we love interacting with all of you here in the comments on YouTube and in the Discord server. So once again, thank you everybody. This has been Blade Cross EXE.
And Ryoji42.
Part of FlashingBlades Productions. Thank you all for watching, and thank you again for 5,000 subscribers.
We hope you'll stick with us and help us push for 10,000 next. Peace out.
Peace.